Good morning, Vlogmas day 6. I've got a cup of tea. It's Sunday morning. It's a bit wetter outside this morning than it was yesterday. We had a beautiful winter's day yesterday. Today, the episode is mostly going to be talking about my circular sock machine, as requested. So I'm going to quickly open my lovely yarn advent calendars, and then I will seamlessly move into the pre-recorded footage about my circular sock machine. Another nitty cup from Tesco. So today, from my friend's yarn advent swap, I'm opening one from Ruth. So as today is the 6th and we're 6 friends, I will have opened one from each of my friends and then I'll start the circle again tomorrow. This one has got some refresher sours in it and some chocolate. Ruth, trying to make this. And what's this little? Oh, and a tiny hat. I don't know if that's going to stay, but I do love a tiny hat. And oh, look at that bluey grey. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. So this is Stranded Dye Works, and it's called Mint Imperial. I absolutely love that colourway. Oh, it's gorgeous. Might try and track me down a full skein of that. That is gorgeous. Thank you, Ruth. Beautiful. I will put that on the pile to be cranked. And then the second yarn advent is my British Breeds one. Oh, I'm doing very well on my party chain. It is beautiful. I've got another beautiful, rich, creamy white there. That is beautiful. I wonder what that is. This is Pole Dorset Lamb's Wool DK. Woolen spun in Yorkshire. Oh, and it's from Northern Yarns, who are, I love Kate from Northern Yarns. Oh, very, very nice. I will add that to my party ring and show you my party chain that is coming along very, very nicely. Thank you very much, Alex. Wonderful. Oh, shall we have a look at the Pole Dorset on my tea towel? There he is. Pole Dorset. Lovely. Very, very nice. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the circular sock machine demonstration and chat. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Before I get out the circular sock machine, we need to wind this into a very neat and nice cake, because the sock machine does not like any kind of resistance or bobbing around or anything, so it has to be perfectly caked. Okay, so along with our perfectly caked ball of yarn, there are a couple of other things we need. We need some weights, we need some scrap yarn, leader yarn, this very handy tool which is a picker. It's got a pointy bit on the end which I bent, and then like a tiny crochet hook style thing which is very useful, and an onion bag. And then this is the beast itself. How am I going to show this so you can see it? I apologise for the light and for the mess. So it has this yarn feeder thing there, and then if I bring you round, perhaps you can see it. So this is a very old vintage piece. There weren't any markings on it when I got it, but according to some experts on Facebook, they think it's something called a cooperative that was created in the early 1900s. This is the, this is the wheel I crank. Sorry about the light. I've opened the door, so we've actually got what little natural light there is. Might not be able to do that for long because it's quite chilly. So this is the cranking handle, and when I turn that, this goes round and round and the little needles go up and down. Now you can see that I have 3 needles in a row, then a space, 3 needles. This is because this is actually has slots for 84 needles, which makes for quite a wide sock. So I've just skipped everyone, so I think there are 64 stitches, 64 little hooks. So I'll put the yarn in, set it up and get it going and show you how it works, hopefully, if it behaves. Sometimes it does not like to perform on cue. Not behaving. Give me 2 secs. Okay, so I've got it to a stage where I can now do a full round and it's all dropping back down and not jumping any stitches. Now I get to add the proper yarn. So I'll just stop it there, break the yarn. I've got a little bowl down here. That's just so that when it gets to this small stage, it doesn't roll off, because when it rolls off, it puts tension on the yarn, and that can cause the needles to skip, or it's a very sensitive little sole, just likes everything to run smoothly. Okay, so let's bring in the West Yorkshire spinners. This is why I like using self-striping yarn, because it makes it quite a fun watch to see all the different colours feeding through. So obviously once I've got my tube cranked, I will pick up the stitches from the correct yarn, the yarn I'm using, and just rip out the waste yarn so it doesn't actually get wasted. I tend to reuse them. Okay, so that just skipped a stitch there, which is fine because it's the early on in the piece, so it's not going to affect it. But I'll put that down and just make sure all my little things are in the right place. One skipped here, see, as well. Looks like that had been skipped forever, so that's not a bad thing. When it's on the first round or the second round, I don't really mind because I can easily fix that when I'm picking up the stitches. Okay, so it seems like previously it didn't like this beige yarn. Maybe it was a bit too toothy for it. It's winding very nicely now, so in fact I'm just going to re-increase the tension. That was one of the things I did before to help it go smoothly, was just relax the tension. I've just upped that now so it's not too loosey-goosey. Maybe even again. Alright, so there we go. And now it just goes round and round and round. And I'm always keeping an eye on it just to make sure that the stitch doesn't pop out, or that the weight doesn't hit the floor, because it has to have weight pulling down on it to create the tension on the stitches. I loved West Yorkshire spinners. Look how cool that looks.
Okay, so my weight's nearly hit the ground here. So what I don't know if there's a proper way to do this, but the only thing I do is just kind of bring them up higher up into the sock and tie a knot so that it's got another decent amount of distance to go before it hits the ground again. I'm also going to close the door because it's bloody freezing. It's been snowing today. Alright, and now back in the darkness. This is how dark my cottage is.
Okay, we're coming to the end of that cake of yarn now, so I just have to keep an eye on it. I don't think I'm going to crank any more today. I'm going to save up my Advent minis for a couple more days yet, and I'll probably try and crank about 7 or 8 in a row, because I don't want to leave the sock machine out. I live in a very small cottage and there's not enough room to have the sock machine out all the time. So I'm going to finish off this one and then I'll pop it away. I will put in some, there it is. I will put in some scrap yarn to finish it off just quickly. So I'll do that and then I'll be back.
So obviously didn't like this yarn to start with. I think it's perhaps a bit too toothy. It's not slipping off the needles as nicely, so I'll know for next time to find a different bit of scrap yarn to use. I've made it through the entire skein though without any other glitches, so pleased to see it has finally worked. Pull that through a little bit more. I'll only do 1 or 2 rows with the scrap yarn, just so if I don't work on it immediately, it doesn't run away. See, it's catching there. Don't like it when it does that. Right, I'll snap that, and then just let it run through and run off. And there you have the tube with some weights inside.
Okay, so here's my finished tube, quite long. I can generally get 2 pairs of socks out of these, as I said. There's the leader, and then I'll just simply cut off that onion bag and use it for next time.
So some of you have been asking about the circular sock machine, how I got it, where I came to have it. And all I can say is I think I was incredibly lucky. It was an impulsive eBay purchase, which I sometimes do. And I didn't really know anything about circular sock machines, and neither did the lady who was selling it. She was clearing out her aunt's garage or something, and all she knew was that her granny, her aunt or whatever, had used it to make socks on. She didn't know if all the pieces were there. She didn't know if it still worked, but it was in this box and there were tons of pieces with it. So I put a bid on it, and actually the initial bit I got outbidded, and I don't mind telling you how much it was. It's expensive. It was I ultimately ended up paying something like £250–260 for it. It was 251 was the winning bid, but it wasn't the winning bid. I bought it because the person who had outbid me decided to withdraw their bid. So I lost it and then I won it. So I was a bit surprised, and I think I just really got very lucky. When it arrived, I gave it a really good clean up. The original needles, which I still have, were very, very rusted, and so I got replacement needles. I got a replacement belt thing for it. But other than that, it works fine. Obviously, there's no manual that comes with it. A lot of circular sock machines have ribbing attachments for them. I don't think this was ever even built or designed to have a ribbing attachment on it. So it's literally just the straight tubes at the moment. I'm sure I can work out how to do heels and toes on it. I was just dead chuffed to be able to get tubes out, so I didn't really want to push it, but perhaps that's something I should look into as well. But yeah, I was very lucky. I do keep an eye on eBay to see what's there, and I can't say I've seen anything similar come up. You can buy them new, but they're in the thousands new, and I think they're sold from America, so you've got to take into consideration import tax and things like that. So yeah, I just got very, very lucky. There is a really helpful couple of Facebook groups. There's one called Vintage Crankers with a K, and they might be offering things for sale, or they might be looking for something, but they've recently been discussing something that was posted on eBay, a real old rusted thing that was on for about £500, and everyone was saying, stay well away from that, it's not worth it. So it's quite a handy place to just kind of get information and ideas off about what's worth spending the money on or not. So yeah, it's not a cheap thing, but I love it, and I did get very, very lucky. So yeah, that's the story of my circular sock machine. The history of circular sock machines is amazing, and from what I understand, they made these machines in the beginning of the 20th century, so early 1900s, and they would send them out to households, and they would pay for them by sending back socks, knitted up, cranked socks. So it was kind of a hire purchase thing, but they were paying it off with socks, and there were all sorts of instructions about how the socks should be, and what quality and tension, and they would get sent back if they weren't good enough. So, and I think a lot of them were used in the war effort as well to make socks. So yeah, I need to do a bit more research into them, but it's fascinating, and it's lovely to have an old piece with a lot of history possibly behind it, which I don't know anything about it. But yeah, it's probably due for another clean again. I've been cranking pretty hard. So now for this one, I'm probably not going to make socks out of this. What I think I'm going to do is perhaps slightly smaller than this, but make a double looped neck warmer, which is so simple. I now just need to graft two of the ends together when I've worked out what length I want. Simple. And that will be a Christmas present. So there we go. I hope you found that interesting. Let me know if you've got any more questions. I probably won't be able to answer them. I really don't know very much about circular sock machines, aside from how to make mine, make tubes, and that's it. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.